Yo, what's up, hobbies? Welcome back to a new video. Today we're gonna be making a power bank. Yeah, I'm gonna actually be telling you how to make a power bank. Yeah, I know you all have a lot in mind, a lot of ideas on how to make a power bank, but today is gonna be different because I am gonna be making a DIY or buy power bank. Yeah, you heard me right. Yeah, a DIY or buy power bank. We're gonna be listing out the advantages, the disadvantages, which one is much better to build, and you're gonna learn a lot in this video. Also, you're gonna also get insight on how to build a power bank in the local way, not actually the local way, because we are also going to be using electronic components, and in the DIY we are going to be using electronic components, and then the buy type you're going to just be using a module. So do all to stay to the ending of this video to get great insight. So sorry for not posting for about 4 days. I got some troubles in hand, but all good. Let's quickly go to the video. Okay, welcome back. Now, the first project which we're going to be doing, the first idea which I'm going to be talking about is actually the DIY power bank. Yeah, we're going to be making a DIY power bank or using a module to make the power bank, and we're going to see which one's best, as I said earlier. Now, the first component which we are going to be using is the LM7805. Yeah, the LM7805 is actually a voltage regulator, a 5-volt voltage regulator, which actually regulates voltage from any particular voltage to 5 volts. Yeah, it actually regulates volts. Yeah, that's the main benefit, and that is what we are going to be using today to regulate our voltage. For the input voltage, we're going to be using 12 volts. Yeah, we are going to be dealing with 12 volts in making the DIY power bank, and the voltage regulator is going to be there to reduce the voltage to 5 volts, which our phone supports, because all Android phone or any rechargeable stuff actually needs 5 volts as input to charge, as I on my own observation and also internet check-ins. And also we're going to be using these 4700 UF capacitor to put in the output of the 7805 to make the voltage smooth and to avoid noise. And also we are going to be using a heat sink. Yeah, very important. You know, if you're drawing about 1 amps and above from this 7805, you're definitely going to need a heat sink, because these 7805 actually get hot. And yeah, it gets hot. I don't want to talk about more about it. I'm going to say that in the end. And if you are enjoying this video, please do well to give me a subscribe, hit the like button, and also turn on the bell notification so that you will be notified when a new video is out on my channel. Okay, now the third item which I'm going to be using is actually the USB. Yeah, actually I'm going to be testing the power bank with a phone. Yeah, I'm going to be testing it with a cell phone to see if it's actually charging. So yeah, we need a USB which is going to be connected to our USB cable, then to our phone. That is the third item which we're going to be using, and also some few wires and also a breadboard for connections and other of those stuff. So without wasting much time, this is the circuit diagram which you gotta need when you want to build this DIY voltage regulator power bank. Now the pin out of this LM7805 is very simple. The first pin is actually the input, the center pin is actually the ground. Also at the back iron right here, which actually laps on top of the heating, is also ground. Then the third pin is actually the output. Yeah, the input is where you're going to put your voltage, your high voltage. The center pin is going to be the ground, then the last pin is going to be the output, which the 5 volt is going to be out. Yeah, this is where the 5 volt output. So this is the output of the 7805 which you're going to be connecting to the USB port. Now here is the circuit. It's very simple, very explanative. I'm just going to say it on words for you to get it. Now the first pin is going to be connected to the input of the first pin is going to be connected to the 12 volts. The center pin is going to be connected to the negative side of the battery of the 12 volts, as I said earlier. Then the output pin is going to be connected to the positive side of the USB, while the ground, the negative side of the USB, is going to be connected to ground. And you can see those two data wires. Actually, these two pins right here actually serve as the data wires which is normally used to be connected. Connecting these two pins together is going to allow any device connected to this USB to draw more than 1 amps. Yeah, that's the trick. So I know you've not heard this before, but I want you to understand it, and that is the trick. So if you join this two terminals right here, it's going to allow any device connected to the USB to draw more than 1 amps, and yeah, that is just the trick. Then almost forgot, the capacitor is going to be connected. Positive side of the capacitor is going to be connected to the output, which is the third leg of the voltage regulator, and the ground of the capacitor, the ground leg of the capacitor is going to be connected to ground as so. Now I think everything is done, the circuit is done completely. Let's quickly test it out and actually see how it actually works. On the output of the voltage regulator using our multimeter, we can see 4.9 volts, which is actually close to 5 volts, but it's still good. Yeah, close to 5 volts. We will still charge your phone. Well, now let's quickly test it out and let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna be using this cell phone to test it out and see if it actually works perfectly. And boom, it actually works. Oh my god, this is ridiculous and this is fantastic. Are you amazed? Let me know in the comment section. This actually worked. It actually charged the phone, which is great. And let's quickly go to the module making. Now this project which I actually just made is actually the DIY power bank. I know it's not the best, but I'm just making the simple DIY power bank. I'm gonna let you know the disadvantages and also the advantages at the end of the video, so just stay tuned. Now, in making the more specialized and more nice power bank, we're going to be buying this module on AliExpress. Yeah, you can get this module on AliExpress. It's actually a booster. It actually comes from power bank. Also, you can get it from, you can salvage it from old power banks that are damaged. Actually, the board which actually boosts 3.7 volt to 5 volts. That's what it actually does. In this case, actually boosting. In the DIY, which we talked about lately, it's talking about buck. Yeah, buck converter. While this one which we're actually using today is actually the boost converter. So this module helps to boost the 3.7 volt from the battery to 5 volts, while the one we did back helps to reduce the 12 volts to 5 volts. Actually the same, but this one is just different. Yeah, this is easy to connect. You can see the battery terminals there. So it's going to be connected to the positive side, is going to be connected to the positive side of the battery. The negative side is going to be connected to the negative side of the battery, which is simple. And yeah, anyone can just clamp this on and make it work. Okay, so I think all the connections are done. Let's test it out and see if it works charging the device. And just a little tip, these also have a good battery indicator, which actually tells us the battery level indication, which is a kind of bonus to us. Anyways, let's plug in the phone and let's see if it works. Boom, it actually works. Yeah, the two power banks actually work, but there are advantages and disadvantages which we're going to be talking about. If you want to stay tuned, if you want to know, do what, smash the like button and hit the subscribe button so you can get notified when new videos are dropped on my channel. I really appreciate you on getting me to 200 subscribers all the way from 0 on day 1. Let's get to 300 subscribers, and that is my goal, and also 1000 subscribers before the ending of this year. That is my goal. Let's quickly go to the final explanation. Okay, now we are back to the last of the explanation. I'm talking about which one is the better, either the DIY or the buy type of power bank. Yeah, now I would say that the two type of power banks are not really bad. I'm not gonna say that the buck inverter is bad or the booster is bad. These two DIY power banks and these two power banks are also good. But the first thing which I'm going to be pointing out is actually the buck inverter. Yeah, earlier in the video I told you that the buck inverter actually need a heatsink. Yeah, the LM7805 actually dissipates heat when you draw more than 1 amps from it, which actually needs a heatsink, which it gets cool. Now you're going to be asking me, those heats that are produced are being released to where? Now those heats which actually produce are also energy, and I would say this is actually a wastage of energy, while the booster which we actually got does not actually produce that kind of heat, thereby saves more current. And according to the data sheet of the LM7805 is actually less than 50% efficient, while these booster models are close to 80% efficient. So you can see the trick. So I think the DIY power bank is not good more than the buy module power bank. So I think the module power bank is better. Either way, the LM7805 in conclusion creates a lot of heat, not efficient, and also waste a lot of power, which is not advisable to make. Just get these modules on AliExpress and make your power bank and enjoy your full battery life. And I think they are much better. And if you are enjoying this video, do hope to smash the like button, subscribe to my channel, and I really appreciate all that you have done from 0 subscribers to 200 subscribers and trying to reach on 300 subscribers before the ending of this month and 1000 subscribers before the ending of this year. That is my goal. I just want to say thank you very much for watching this video to the end, and I really appreciate you. I know this is actually a close, really short video which I normally do produce, but thank you very much for staying to the end. If you have any clue, any questions you want to ask, let me know in the comment section. If you disagree or what I said, let me know in the comment section and I will answer about you on your questions. Thank you very much for watching this video. I really appreciate you, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.